Edmunds bought a $69,000 Fisker Ocean. They recently went to CarMax to get it appraised, and 2 months later, it's worth $21,000. We're not the only ones out there talking about massive depreciation of used cars. I'll pull up the Ford F-150 Lightning in just a moment, but here you go, Dad. Edmunds, reliable source, paid
Yeah.
$69,000 for a new Fisker Ocean. 60 days later, $21,000 offer from CarMax. Really?
And
You've got to be kidding me.
and may I say, I think whoever at CarMax gave Edmunds a written offer of $21,000, I think that's a mistake. I really think that's a mistake. And the reason I say that's a mistake is, how does it have any value? The company's going out of business. So um the vehicle has software issues. Is Fisker even going to be available to, I don't know, take care of those software issues? If there's ever a parts issue, are you going to be able to get your hands on? So personally, personally, I think it has zero value. Okay, is zero a little low? Yeah, it's a little low. But what are you going to do with it when you can't get anything done for it? So I think if I was a higher up at CarMax and I saw that, I would be having a stern conversation with the appraiser who offered 21, because that offer's good for 7 days,
Yeah.
or I forget how many miles. That's I, who's going to buy it? Why would
This
anybody buy it?
this comes on the heels of us, posting on
Yeah.
social media and people picking up on it. The Ford F-150 Lightning, $95,000 MSRP. We plug it into CarEdge.com/sell. The highest offer was $39,200. You've got Edmunds out there doing it too. There's some serious depreciation going on right now with those EVs. It's pretty crazy.
It is, and we're, I don't know. I think it was Alex sent me an article about, or it wasn't Alex. One of our viewers sent me an article about how 2018 and newer Model 3 Teslas, it's going to be like a California gold rush in California when they get the completely full what is it, free, whatever the hell, FSD. What's that stand for again?
Canoe spent double
Yeah,
its annual revenue on the CEO's private jet in 2023. You may not have heard of Canoe. Canoe is a car company. They make
yeah.
those things. Yeah, they spent more than double the company's annual revenue to pay for the CEO's private jet. How's that sit with
Mm.
you?
Well, I, I, how it sits with me is this way. I'm waiting for CarEdge to spend double its revenue. Okay, on a nice bike for you.
Oh no, yeah, a nice bike would be. Isn't that absurd though? It's like another example of one of these startup car companies that just pays or treats their executives in obscene ways. Which, let me bring up the second. Really, you've got to be kidding me, because it's topical for this. Give me 1 second here. The other, really, you got to be kidding me, I wanted to touch on, tied to money, was this: Ford pays its executives more than it pays in taxes. That was one of the. Yeah, no, look at this. Look at the numbers on this, Dad. Give me 1 second. It's right here. According to this report, Ford has shelled out $355 million in salary to its top 5 executives over the past 5 years, while taking in $7.8 billion in profit. Over the same time period, the automaker paid $121 million in federal taxes, which equates to a 1.5% corporate tax rate. So you've got Canoe.
Wait,
Yeah.
can somebody explain to me why I have to stroke a check for $7,051 to the IRS on April 15th? What am I doing wrong? Okay.
Is that more than 1.5% of your income?
I'm pretty damn sure it is. Yes. Maybe I need to incorporate. Um, that yeah, that's crazy. And the fact that you're a startup, we're a startup, but I don't know. You watch every penny. You want the money to go to help grow the business, not pay for your private jets or your private bicycle or or even your hokas for your running. Um, it, I don't know. Obviously, this is what I will, and I'm saying this with all the love that I can muster for you.
Let's hear it.
Obviously, you're doing something absolutely wrong because you haven't garnered any stupid benefits like this in your 4.5 years with CarEdge. Um, plowing all the money back into the business as opposed to, you know, getting a $10,000 racing bike or
Yeah.
anything. I mean, I haven't seen you take any unnecessary benefits from your startup in 4.5 years. And the
Yeah.
guy at Canoe, who is an electric vehicle company that produces some of the ugliest vehicles on the face of the planet, okay, has his company spend double their revenue on his private jet. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought I used to think you were a smart young man, but apparently, Zach, you have let all this slip through your fingertips. And
I hope
God,
we go public someday, as a company. I really, really do, and I hope that, like, then everyone can see the fight. Like, I am far from the highest paid employee at our company. Like, yeah, I'm definitely doing it wrong, man, but it's all good. Like, we're happy with what we're doing, so it's not about us. It's just kind of hilarious when you see these things going on out there. I've got another one, but first we'll come back to the chat here. Dugan, thank you,
yes,
Dugan. Turo Mustang will likely get totaled. I've had two perfect Teslas totaled. ACV on a new car is much higher, which also makes the calculation much tougher. Why would they get totaled? Oh, because they're like rental cars that people are driving. Interesting. I didn't know that. Is that a thing? Do Toro cars get more accidents? I guess they do.
I have no idea.
I mean, people are unfamiliar with how to drive the cars and everything, so that's an
Well,
interesting thought. Thank you
you
for
know
that,
how
Dugan.
comfortable I was when I was driving that Tesla in Detroit, and it
Not
wasn't
that
very.
comfortable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was not. Yeah,
Canoe may be up the creek without a paddle, but CEO sure knows how to pedal. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nicely said, Matthew.
What
Yeah,
happens in corporations is wild. All right. I found a very ugly car. You want to see it?
yeah, yeah. I love ugly cars.
2024 Lincoln Continental Coach and Town Car Edition revealed. What do you
Wow.
make of this?
What? Well, you make it bigger. Um, wow. I haven't. I Oh, wow. I haven't seen fender skirts like that over the wheels in years. Um, except I think they had those on the Honda Insight at one time. What do I make of
That
that?
is
That is an amalgamation of styling cues from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, right up to today. They have taken styling cues from every every decade and put them all into one car, including the stimulated convertible rooftop. Um, Simulated. I'm sorry, the simulated
stimulated.
leather.
What do you
Yeah, I got
stimulated?
I got excited there for a sec. Yeah,
Yeah, what was the GM EV that they're making that looks really ugly? Oh, the Cialis.
the
The
Celestique.
the Celestique. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry.
yeah,
The Celestique. This reminds me of the
Cialis
Celes what was that?
the Cialistique. Yes,
The Cialistique, yeah. What's
yes,
it actually called? What's it called?
a Celestique.
The Celestique, yeah. The
Yeah,
Celestique. This reminds me of the Celestique. It's like, let's use all the cute let's, like, make a boat, like an absolute boat. I don't know. I just find it kind of
I'm telling you,
hilarious.
there's stuff in there from the '60s. It is, the half that half leather, that white leather. I mean, we used to do that to cars. I used to do that to cars in the '80s. Where we would put that simulated top on it. It was, the only thing missing is like a stake body bed on the back of it, like a pickup truck, like a cabin chassis. Yeah, it's a pretty ugly vehicle. I will say this: it's not making me excited for 2025.
Chevrolet announced the first retail trim for their Silverado EV. It is $96,495. Your out the door price on that will definitely be over 100 grand. Kind of a somber, really, you've gotta be kidding me.
Well,
Yeah.
there's good news and bad news in there, because the bad news is that America hasn't really been asking for another $100,000 EV pickup. The good news is that originally the MSRP was going to be $106,000. And they thought, well, if we drop it down to just 96 and change, that's going to make all the difference in the world. That that will get those people to come. It won't. It's you know, I I pissed off an Acura rep once when I told him we were gonna run an ad, and the ad was gonna say, "We're stacking them cheap and leasing them. We're stacking them deep and leasing them cheap." "Oh, you can't say that for Acura." Well, we were, and we did. Okay? The 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 point is to not stack them deep and make them as expensive as you possibly can. And really, I don't I don't wanna talk out of both sides of my mouth, but is $10,000 really gonna make a difference to somebody that was looking at that when it was a $106,000 truck? Is it gonna sway, I don't know, thousands upon thousands of potential buyers who say, "Oh my god, they lowered the MSRP by 10 grand. I gotta buy one. It's only 96 large." You know, whatever. They
From Phil
I
G, 96 and change, I'm there, said no one ever. Yeah, like,
exactly.
to your point, dad, like, I don't think
Yes,
people are clamoring. My comment that I added over on Twitter was the Chevy Trax is selling like hotcakes. You wanna get a Chevy
yes.
Trax, get one through CarEdge. We can get it near or actually at at invoice, excuse me, delivered to your door. Like Chevy Trax are sub $30,000 OTD price points. People are clamoring for those. And then you've got on
Yes.
the opposite end of the spectrum, yeah, I mean, we should not talk out of both sides of our mouth. The $10,000 price drop from where they said it was going to be is huge news, and
Which is
it's still
unusual, which is
100,000. Yeah,
I was gonna say, and it's highly unusual because every other time, every manufacturer has, when they announced the vehicle and said, like the Lightning, it's gonna be a $39,995 truck. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe a 3-year-old one, but not a new one. So this is one of those rare occasions where they said, um
you can get 4 tracks or you can get
yeah.
1 Lightning. Oh
But
god.
this is one of those rare occasions where Chevy said, "Hey, it was $106,000, and we decided before it even came out that that was $10,000 too high." So it's the opposite of what they had been doing up to this point. Is it a successful strategy? I guess we will soon find out.